What's going on, guys? T-Mart here, and welcome back to another episode of Advanced Warfare Gun Guide. This is a series go through all of the weapons in the game, breaking them down in 3 minutes less, giving you guys only the most important stats, info, and recommended setups to help you guys do better in multiplayer. So, on today's episode, we are going to be taking a look at the MP11 submachine gun. Not my favorite, but it's actually pretty good. So, starting off here with the iron sights, I'm going to give them a meh. Like, they're not great, but they're not awful. They are pretty blocky, and sometimes it can be hard to shoot enemies at longer distances. But honestly, you won't be shooting many enemies at long distances with this thing, so it's really not that big of a deal. It's all about personal preference. Usually, I don't run an optic on it, but I'm not against it. So, do what you feel is best. Now, next up, as for damage, this is where this weapon is a little bit weaker. So, up close, it does 30 damage, and then it drops down to 19 damage at long range, which makes it a 4 to 6 shot kill, which isn't awful, but it is definitely one of the weaker SMGs in the game. Now, recently with the latest patch, it did get an increase in its 4-shot kill range. It's actually, almost doubled, so that's a big help. This weapon used to be pretty much unusable, and now it's a decent weapon that can be used and you can do well with, so that's pretty exciting. Now, because the damage is so low, the fire rate is extremely high, 923 rounds per minute, which is the highest of all the SMGs, and I think might be the highest in all of the game, which is pretty good. Now, as for the recoil, it's got a fair amount of recoil. It's not, really small, it's not really big, it's got a fair amount. The foregrip does help it out a little bit, but it's not quite as significant as some of the other weapons and the foregrip on those weapons in this game. So, if you want to run a foregrip on it, you can, but it's not the most important attachment in the game like it is on some of the other SMGs. So, keep that in mind and kind of, mix up your attachments on this weapon. Now, as for the magazine size, 32 rounds in normal mag, 48 rounds in the extended mags. Reload speed is actually very, very quick. 1.9 seconds normally, and then 1.5 seconds with the speed reload, so that increased it by about 25%. And then finally, for the last part of this video, what's my recommended setup for you guys? Well, first of all, advanced rifling is a great attachment on all SMGs. The kind of bad thing about SMGs is their lack of range, so anything to increase that range is going to help you out. So advanced rifling is great. Laser sight is also really good. I do a lot of spraying from the hip with this weapon, so being able to be more accurate from the hip and put more bullets into the enemies is a very useful thing. A quick draw grip is also good for those situations where you don't want to spray from the hip. You want to be able to aim down sight really fast and get on target quickly. And then also, a cool combination is rapid fire and extended mags. Really, the only thing I don't like on this weapon is the silencer. It's already so weak. I do not recommend using this thing with the silencer. If you want a silenced SMG, go with the KF5 or maybe even the ASM1. So, yeah, there you guys have it. That, my friends, is the MP11 in Advanced Warfare. Previously, at launch, it really was a pretty awful gun. But since the patch, since the kind of buff of this weapon, it's actually a pretty solid weapon. It's not as good as the KF5, it's not as good as the ASM1, but it's still a very solid weapon that I think you guys will enjoy. So, yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. I will catch you all later. Let me know which weapon you guys want to see next in Advanced Warfare Gun Guide by leaving a comment down below. And check out these two on the screen if you haven't seen them yet. Peace out, guys.